Today I am going to be fixing up a split side skirt that I thrifted. There are so many wonderful YouTubers and other creators who have made split side skirts from scratch, and I was lucky enough to have it half done for me, or mostly done for me. I went and thrifted this beautiful circle split side skirt. And there's a couple of changes I want to make to it. Is making it a little bit bigger. Right now the waist is too small for me, don't quite fit in. There's gapping on the sides, not overlap. And that's another thing I want. There's only this much, maybe 3 inches at the top of overlap fabric. I want to extend that and add pockets because I have access on the sides when it's closed. I'll need to add on some skirt hooks on the ends for the back because currently there is only one hook and no loop, and I have to close it with a safety pin. And to do all of this, I went and thrifted this nice black fabric. Feels like cotton for me. I'm not sure. It's 1 yard times 60 inches it says, and I got it for $1.99, which is a great deal for fabric in my area. So without further ado, let's get crafting. My first step was to unpick the old waistband from the skirt. According to Google, the brand Art Green is a souvenir of hand-painted circle skirts from the 1950s. They often had hand-sewn embellishments like sequins and were specifically made in Mexico City. A quick Google search showed me that skirts with this brand can range from like $145 to $316 US. I can't remember exactly how much I paid for this skirt at the thrift store. I know it was under $10, maybe around $6 in that range. Even though these are from the 1950s and highly collectible, I am still going to change it to fit my needs. I know there's a lot of discussion nowadays of whether you should be changing vintage items, if you should keep them how they originally were made, but I know I wouldn't wear this skirt unless it was made to fit me, and adding pockets is a bonus, even though it isn't in the original design. I am always so scared when I cut into the fabric, so to kind of relieve some of that stress and anxiety about it, I decided to make a mock-up of my fabric in Canva. I went and made sure that I had the same exact size, and I made a grid line to represent the inches. I even did a line to represent the part that was cut out. Then I made each of the different parts to waistbands. The one waistband couldn't fit on the fabric, so it had to be in 2 parts. Then also the pockets, so I knew which way to put the patterns and what was the most effective use of the fabric. I had the original waistbands seam ripped at this point, and you can see me reference some sometimes, but I relied more on the measurements rather than the actual pieces of fabric, because I didn't bother ironing them out and making sure they were alright. To mark up my pattern pieces, I used my chalk method, which worked really great on this black fabric. I could actually use white chalk this time. So I just measured out and made sure that each piece was in the correct spot and I could clearly see and refer to them. In the end, I cut out only 2 pocket pieces, but I used all 4 of the pockets that I traced out. Each pocket was 11 inches by 7 inches. For the front waistband, I had 2 pieces and they totaled 5 inches by 64. The back waistband was only supposed to be 30 inches long, but I decided to do the whole length of the fabric and then turned in the ends while sewing. It was also 5 inches wide. Before I start sewing this, I want to cut the pockets and finish the ends so I can have one side with a diagonal so I can easily put my hand in. And then I also want to fix the long waistband part. Right now it's in 2 pieces and the seam will be right in the center where you can see it. They say, you know, piecing is period, but I don't really want that right in the center. It's kind of directly on the center on the original piece. And there's a couple of them actually. Here's the second one. You can't notice it too much because of all the color and variation. It just blends right in. But I think with only one color black, it will really stand out. So I'm going to cut one of them in half and have the seams on the side of the long one. Well, let me start on that. So this is our half one. We'll go with this guy, and this is our waistband that will go with the pockets. For the pockets, I want them to match the diagonal from the original piece. Pockets will be attached to the back waistband, not the very long one. So I'll have to figure out how to do that as well. Let me just move these out of the way. So the long one will go over here. Short waistband will go over there. Here are the pockets. I'm a very visual person, so I will need to really visualize what this will look like. So if this is the front of the skirt here, let me just use the old waistband. It wraps around like this. That's another thing I'll have to figure out where it attaches to on the skirt. And remember, this will be bigger because I added seam allowance. So I know on the skirt, this will be the straight side. So I want an angle that kind of matches this from before. Oh, I know, I wanted to use use this side since it already had a curve to it, or a piece taken out of the corner. After that, I'm gonna front seam the sides so I don't have raw edges, because that would be uncomfortable. It looks a little different because of the corner taken off. I think the angles are the same now. It will be hidden by the dress, so I'm not too worried about it. Try to grab the pins out. This project is a lot of do first, then think about it. I'm not too worried since I have all that extra fabric left. But normally, I'm a very overthinker when it comes to stuff like this. The angle looks different. Oops. Let's see if they match up. Yeah, this angle is off. Good enough for me. Now I'm going to sew up the ends and then do the front seam like I said before. One of the sewing machine problems I encountered was the needle not wanting to go back and forth when I chose the zigzag stitch. I got both the pockets done, and now I'm going to combine the pieces for the long waistband. I am really running out of black, and this is all I have left. So for the inside pieces at least, I will be sewing it on with navy blue because there's not too much of a difference if it pops through, but I doubt it will. Normally when you combine some long pieces of thread or fabric together, like if you're doing binding on the bias, you will sew it at a diagonal, but this is such a loose weave, I don't think I need to do that. For the waistband, that'll save me some length also. I know I had extra length there. So yeah, that's my update for now. Once the pockets were front seamed, I worked on sewing together the waistbands. I started with connecting the longer waistband together. It is now time to put on the back waistband. I haven't figured out how I'm attaching the pockets. I think I made the opening too small, but I'll figure that out once I get there. Right now I'm just finding the center of both the skirt back panel and the shorter slash back panel of the waistband. I'm just sewing on the inside one which won't be seen. So I am still using that navy thread because I don't have any more. I'm kind of disappointed that I might have wasted it on the pockets when I'm gonna rip it out anyways, but oh well. Like I said before, I am turning in the skirt a bit more shallower than it was originally because it didn't quite fit my waist. So before it was right along this white line and the purple was the last row. I'm going to go in to the purple, which is about an inch, and that will give me a bigger waist. That actually might be too big. I might just try the middle of the purple row and see how much that gets me. So that is what the plan is for now. Because I am doing this, I will have less smaller waist because I'm using up more of my seam allowance. I think that should still be enough. It'll be interesting because I'll have to be sewing on a curve. Maybe I should switch to putting it on in this direction. I can actually see where I am pinning. Oops, a bent pin. And I did put the pins in backwards for the direction I'm going. Oh well. To remove the center pins, just have to be careful. Something you probably can't see, let's zoom in, is that my presser foot is almost the exact width of the purple, so if I can just keep it in line with that, it will hopefully go smoothly. And there we go. Look a little something like this when it's done. Now I just need to figure out those pockets. I just sewed on the long waistband, and I checked, but I sewed the seams the wrong way. Well, looks like I'm gonna be seam ripping now. Okay, update time. So I tried sewing it onto the purple, or the middle of the purple, and that didn't work, so I had to go all the way down to the bottom of the purple to sew it on. It took me several attempts, and I had to keep ripping it out, and it was a mess. Then I just ironed down all the seam allowance on the long band, and I did it on both sides. Now I'm about to sew them together, make a little tube, and then I'll stop when I reach where it attaches to the skirt and flip the individual sides inside out. Okay. Very end. Okay, let's hope it's okay. After sewing both sides of the long waistband, I turned one side inside out, but this happened to be a waste of time. Well, I got this through, but I hate it. It's way skinnier than I thought it would be. I thought it would be, this wide, and I forgot to take into account the fact that I ate up the seam allowance. Crumb. I think there's more picking ahead of me. Woohoo! Okay, quick skirt update. I found out what I did wrong. I went in, ironed in my seam allowance before sewing. So basically I had like double seam allowance, and that's why it got so small and I didn't like it. I was following the original straps for the waist, and I saw, oh, it's ironed in. I'll iron it in, forgetting that that's kind of after the fact. So, you know, double seam allowance kind of will make it small and not usable. So I will do it now correctly, and hopefully I won't have to unpick much more than this. It's a new day, and I have black thread finally, so hopefully it will go better. Are you serious? I ran out way back here. Oh well, time to change the thread. I'm going to learn from my past mistake and turn it around while it is still only one side sewn. I think I might have gotten off. If you can see, it looks like a stitching line was here, but we will see. I'll come back after I iron this. I am liking this much better. I literally just pulled it out now, but this is what I was looking for before. Once I'm done with the other side, I'll give it a good pressing, and then all I have to do is hand sew this part of the waistband, and this side will be done. Oh, something's not right. Big old rat nest. I think my problem is that it's getting caught on too many strings here. We will try this again. Yep, this red one. Being a pain. Alright, let's try this again. Take 37 or something. There, it's going smoothly. I finally got the sewn. Let's hope it's done correctly. The pocket opening that I made is along right here. I should have made it larger and followed what this pocket is, but you know, I was just winging it. If I hold up this cutout from the original dress, it matches up almost perfectly. It goes longer because of the seam allowance and stuff, but I will unpick this. Unfortunately, I did French seams. And then I will correct this. Okay, I am about to sew on the pocket, but I thought I'd try to explain a method to my madness here. So the pocket is fixed, and right now it's just pinned on. But this is the back waistband, so the pockets will kind of go into the front. And I would be able to access it from the sides where they overlap here. but I'm going to sew with the black thread along this line, and then later I will sew with a white thread just to hide it. But then I will go and top stitch along here and all the way to the end. Since this part will be covered by the front of the skirt, I don't have to worry about the stitches showing onto the waistband. I will copy it on the other side, and then this middle part of the waistband will just get hand sewn like I did to this. I think I can finish this today. Right now it is Monday, October 13th, and my birthday is on May the 16th, so I really hope I can wear this as my birthday skirt. Alright, let's see how much I can get done. Backwards pins is going to be the death of me one day. It's hard to see because it's black on black, but my sewing machine's bobbin is not doing too great. I might have to redo this hand sewing because that's just sloppy. It's the same on the other side. I did try this on when it was pinned together and the pockets worked as planned. I'm so excited for this. And now I just have to hand sew and maybe hand sew this part as well. I ended up seam ripping the machine stitching and hand sewing the entire back waistband from either side of the pockets. My final step was hand sewing on the original label. I finally got this skirt done. Despite all of the troubles and unpicking I had to do and machine problems, it got done. I made it in time for my birthday. Today is Wednesday, October 15th, the day before my birthday, and I wore this all day to work because I was celebrating my birthday at work, and it worked great. The closures that I did was the hook and bar, the skirt hook and bar, and then a snap for the other end, and the front panel just ties in the back with a bow. Something I wish I had done earlier was correct the tension on my machine. I ended up just re-sewing and hand sewing the waistband, the back waistband that attaches to the pockets, because it was too difficult to go and try to play with the tension on my machine because I didn't know how to do it with as many layers of fabric that I had. I'm so excited how this skirt turned out. I love all the colors, and the pattern makes it look like a basket weave. I just love it. I know some people have different opinions about how you should treat vintage clothing. Like I've said earlier, I'm pretty sure this skirt is originally from the 1950s. But I wouldn't have worn it the other way because it was too small. It didn't have pockets. I mean, the pockets are a nice little added bonus, but now I will get use out of it. I can't wait to wear this some more, especially in the summertime. Not exactly a fall skirt. It's a little windy for that here. I love that I could get the waistband clasp to work because in my last skirt project, that was the struggle. I love that it has both a hook and eye closure and the snap for added protection. Plus there's the bow in the back. The pockets are so nice because if the side does open up a little bit, I can't even find it, so hidden. The side does open up, it's just the pocket. I do have to be careful about putting things in and out that I don't miss the pocket. I've already done that a couple of times, trying to put a phone in and out, but you know, practice and being aware of which side of the pocket opening I'm going in. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching me try and succeed finally to go and upsize this vintage skirt that I thrifted. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay crafty.